What is up, guys? Rick Hackus here, and I want to go over today why I think the Destiny Crucible is incredibly unbalanced. And at the center of this is the Thorn Exotic Hand Cannon. Now, I'm going to go over why I think that is, and also address many of the common arguments that go against what I'm saying. So if you're already half typing out a comment about how dumb I am, you might want to wait because I'm probably going to address what you're saying in this video. Now, before I start the video, I just want to say that if you agree what I'm about to say, if you think that the Crucible is unbalanced, I need your help. Please like and share this video. I'm a small YouTuber. I can't possibly get Bungie's attention without your help. Now let's get started. I've been playing a ton more Crucible lately than I ever have before. Trials of Osiris kind of got me hooked, and I've been playing a ton of Crucible. I've been full into the Iron Banner, and I've been playing Trials every week. Now, I haven't usually done this. I was mainly a PvE guy, and I would just sit there and watch my guns get nerfed because of PvP shenanigans. But now, I'm the PvP shenanigans, and it was so abundantly clear upon just entering the Crucible just how overpowered the Thorn is. It's hard to argue against this point, considering that when you go into somewhere that players are trying to be competitive, like the Trials of Osiris, you see nothing but thorns. It is a rare occurrence when you see someone not using a thorn. This should be basically an open and shut case just from that. Now, one of the most common arguments I hear against what I'm trying to say is that people say, the Thorn is good, but what about the Hawkmoon, the Red Death, the Last Word? And they go on to name 5 other weapons. Guys, that really proves what I'm trying to say. You shouldn't be able to say, yeah, the Thorn isn't that overpowered. Here are the 5 guns that actually compete with it. Like, what? No, there shouldn't be the Thorn and the handful of guns that can actually compete with the Thorn, and that makes up the entirety of the Crucible. That's ridiculous. This is a loot-based game. There are hundreds of guns at the legendary rarity alone, and it should not be a single digits of guns being utilized to be at all competitive in the Crucible. This does not breed a healthy multiplayer environment. It's not fun when you see the same guns over and over again. It's not fun when you have to use the same gun over and over again in order to stay competitive. It also creates a huge barrier to entry to new players. You're basically saying if you don't have one of these very select few guns that actually can compete with each other, you cannot play competitively in the Crucible. Now, another extremely common argument I hear is that the Thorn requires skill to use, and therefore is not really overpowered, but it's rather really skilled players utilizing it that make it seem overpowered. Now, to that I say, stop tooting your own damn horn. Enough with the it requires skill BS. You know what requires more skill than the Thorn? The No Land Beyond. The No Land Beyond has a faster time to kill than the Thorn. It kills in one headshot. Why aren't you using it? Is it possibly because the Thorn is easier to use, has 9 rounds in a magazine, forgiving recoil, and clear optics? Come on with that requires skill stuff. The Thorn is absolutely everywhere in multiplayer. Do you really think it's because everyone is highly skilled? No, it's because the Thorn is really good. Now, with that said and done, I think you're probably expecting that I'm going to call for a nerf to the Thorn. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want the Thorn to be nerfed. And I know a lot of you are probably surprised that I'm saying this. Like, what the hell? He's making a whole video about the Thorn is overpowered. The Thorn is overpowered. The Thorn and the guns that compete with it are incredibly overpowered when compared to the other guns. But instead of nerfing, let's buff some of the other guns. Let's buff auto rifles. Bungie, you have this weird personal vendetta against auto rifles. No one uses them. I haven't been killed by an auto rifle in the entirety of me playing the Iron Banner, and that's not a joke. I seriously have not died one time to an auto rifle. That should not be. Discounting an entire class of guns because Bungie doesn't know how multiplayer works? I'm sorry, but even the first few nerfs to the auto rifles were ridiculous. Bungie, apparently you're not getting it, so let me tell you how multiplayer works. Alright, so auto rifles are forgiving to use. That means they're going to be utilized more than any other guns by newer players. It does not mean they were overpowered in the slightest. So even though you have the data coming in and you have a little chart you're looking at that says the most used gun is auto rifles, it does not mean that it's overpowered. It means that it's easy to use for new players. This is a common multiplayer thing. It is embarrassing that I have to explain this to a AAA development company, but apparently they aren't getting it. So again, you need to buff auto rifles across the board. Heck, even bring back old Soros regime. That might actually be able to compete properly with the Thorn. But there's so many other weapons that are just laughably underpowered. Like, I reviewed Wolf's Leash. Now, that is the Prison of Elders scout rifle. And it has a pretty fast fire rate, but it does 43 damage for a headshot. So I have to get 5 headshots in a row. Again, that's compared to the Thorn's 2. You could get a headshot, a body shot, and another body shot with a Thorn and still be miles away from my time to kill with the Wolf's Leash. This should not be the case. There is no way that a 5 headshot to kill gun is going to compete with a 2 headshot to kill gun. Bungie, what were you thinking? I even got the Deadshot Luna something. That's the Dead Orbit version of exactly what I'm talking about. Now, it's a scout rifle, but I rolled it with full auto, so it has extremely fast rate of fire, with third eye, and with an increase to stability, and I still couldn't kill anything. It takes so long to kill if you aren't using anything from the exclusive club. So what I'm saying is this. There is clearly a group of guns at the top tier of the Crucible. Nothing else can compete with them. It is an exclusive owners club. It's creating a huge barrier to entry to new players, and it's making Crucible less fun. There's really no variety in the Crucible anymore because of these exclusive guns that completely overpower most other guns. But I don't want them nerfed. Those guns competing against each other can make for some fun gunfights. There's no insta-kill guns really out of that club, and again, it's still fun when you're playing the Crucible. But for God's sakes, let's get some variety back into multiplayer. Buff the other guns. Buff auto rifles. Buff the scout rifles that take 5 bloody headshots to kill. And let's have some stuff that can compete with the Thorn, with the Hawkmoon, with the Red Death. It shouldn't be a few guns and that's it. A healthy multiplayer has a variety of different guns a player can choose from while still being competitive. I'm not asking Bungie to reinvent the Crucible. I'm asking for a fair gunfight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe if you did. And as always, have a good day.